All right, another big episode here, bringing Cheney back for good reason. We're coming off a great week. Some exciting things to share, especially getting back to the Pure Athlete side of things. Here we go. This is the Vital Wire. All right, this has been early part of this week. We'll just jump right in and did our first huddle with Steve and Amanda, who are currently at their facility doing their training. We'll do a follow-up with them as well. But we had our first Pure Athlete Huddle, we've started calling it. Yeah. And this was on the heels of our previous podcast we did with Steve and Amanda, as we're really starting to reach out. We've got a lot of parents under care, and we found a lot of the parents that we have under care have student athletes. And obviously, this has always been a passion of mine. We've been working on how do we start to become a resource, get the message out, and also ultimately give them the care they want, need, and deserve. So we've committed to doing these dinners, these informationals. I almost call them live webinars now.
Yeah.
We are going to make that webinar accessible, so stay tuned for that. But Tuesday night was great. We had 15 people in the room, 15 parents in the room. We had a couple student athletes in the room that came with them as well, and just had a great response and turnout. And I don't know how you guys felt, but some of the feedback we got was you can really see the passion behind why you guys are doing this, which is really ultimately what we want people to know. It's like, yes, we want people under chiropractic care. We want to start serving these kids and their parents justfully the way they want. But at the end of the day, it's like we just want to also be a resource and start giving them the information that they need. So we went through our whole presentation. We didn't talk at people. We talked with people. Yeah. We had some inspiring videos that we had that Cheney had made for us, and we'd all collaborated on. And I truly think that people started to get it.
Yeah, I think the dinner as a whole was super important, and what we're doing is super important. Obviously, we think so, but you're going to feel the passion and the heat behind it because this is where we all came from.
Yeah.
We were in the positions that we're talking about, and we didn't have the resources to deal with them, whether it's physical, mental, or relationships. We didn't have the resources, so we've created the resources now.
Yeah.
So if you are a student athlete, this is for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, just giving them the access. We talked about that on Tuesday too. Just giving them the passion, the access to our passion is really what we're doing. So.
Yeah, and the content that came from it, we were able to share a lot of our stories.
Yeah.
And really show you we are genuine people who have been through the best times. We've been through the work. We've been through the worst times. We've had shitty relationships during the process and talked to such a way, and programs that we needed more resources to, and how to eat, how to think, how to live, how to schedule time. And those are all things we covered. And I think a lot of people connected with the story. And as people start to gravitate towards this, at the end of the day, we want you guys to know that we have been through it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the parents, a couple of the parents even told me, they're like, I started with, and I asked it in the presentation, I was like, who are the first two people that these student athletes, these kids, stop listening to? Who's the first one? Who's the first one they tune out? Maybe they don't stop listening, but who's the first ones that they tune out? And everybody all at once goes, the parents. I'm like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the second one is their coaches. Whether they like them or not, you get comfortable, you gain that relationship, you know how to press buttons. But a lot of the parents afterwards said things have changed so much with the demand.
Yeah.
Me being a whole decade beyond you guys too, is it's like even from my generation to yours, big difference. From my generation to the current, and I say generation, it's like, no, we're not talking 30 years. I'm getting close. But there's some split generations here. But even in 8 to 10 year time gaps here, there's been a lot that has changed, and they're like, there's just so much time, and they're willing to put in the time, but we feel like we're lacking them. We don't know what's out there.
Right.
And one of the biggest things they said is we don't know who or what to trust.
Exactly.
Either.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing we covered as well, with Steve and Amanda being so fresh out of, and they're not out of their careers, but they're so fresh off of the field right now.
Right.
Very relevant with friends who are playing professional sports. They chose not to continue because they too wanted to serve this mission that we have underneath the Pure Athlete of mental, physical, and relationships for this demographic of age group. But I think what I learned Tuesday night was really my heart behind, yes, the student athletes, but how much these parents want the resources for sure.
Yeah, I mean, parents are always, I mean, my parents were craving resources when I was going through it, whether that was in high school, trying to figure out how to properly prepare for college, or when I got to college and I wasn't properly prepared, where to go, what to do, especially when they're home for the summer and they're trying to figure all of this out and they're trying to build a community around you to ultimately excel in your sport. And that's kind of what we're doing here. So I think even farther than, you know, like what we did at the dinner, like parents are looking for extensive resources for lengths of time for not only their student athlete, but for themselves as well, to get the questions answered that they need. And that's what this is all about. That's what the Pure Athlete is about. It's building a community for athletes. And so, I mean, I think this is exactly what parents are looking for. And so I think the dinner kind of just confirmed that for all of us.
And it gives another layer of protection. Is I think the ultimate goal. Me being a parent of 3 now and having my history and my kids wanting to, you know, play golf, race, baseball's in the conversation now. And it's like, but at the end of the day, the number one thing that parents are going to do is protect.
Right.
And that's the other thing that I learned too in listening and hearing what you said too. It's like they're craving resources. And literally just right now I had that thought of, well, why, they're craving resources. Why do we think they're craving resources? Because they're trying to protect us.
Yeah.
And it's odd to see, like, especially over the past few years and all this shit that's happened and stuff hitting the fan, and it's like, then the trust goes away. So now they're lacking even more protection that they want to give because they don't know who to trust. So it's like, ultimately, yes, these parents are craving this because they want to protect. You know, they want them to do well. They want them to be the best on the field. They don't want them injured. They want them to excel as a student. They want them to have friends. They don't want to send them off to college or transfer colleges or send them from high school to a different high school and not have the relationships. It's like, man, we want them to be friends with there's so much that parents are trying to solve for. So I think I learned a lot about that, and it just kind of lit another fire because these kids, as we've done what we've done so far with the Ultimate Sports Physical, with the aesthetic, the vibe, the culture of our practice, and the team we have around us, even the student athletes were the first ones like, yeah, I'm too cool, I'm Joe Jock, and like, yeah, I'll do this, whatever. Like, there's some of them that have that, but every one of them have been like very attentive, very put at ease, very excited to be here. Like, whoa, like this is the real deal, and that's been super. But between the protection and really giving those resources to the parents, it's really lit another fire for me.
And parents will protect their kids' happiness too. Like, parents will do anything for their kid to be happy. So if they're happy doing that sport, they're going to do whatever it takes to keep them happy in that sport. So again, that's just another layer of or the relationship aspect of the Pure Athlete that we're building is that same factor.
And like going back to like the resources bit of it is like there's more than ever over the last 2 years. You said it, there are more like everywhere, all around, and people are getting confused. And it's good that they're getting confused because we're questioning everything that we were doing before COVID. And as we should. Like, nobody wants more surgeries anymore. Nobody wants any more injections. That's not people's first resource right now. And I think building the Pure Athlete to be that other resource, to be the non-injection side of things physically, but also to build the mental side of it of like, yes, it is okay to have like the mental breakdowns. It's okay to like giving people the okay to do that, but also giving people the mental toughness to know that like it's sports, it's going to be hard, suck it up and let's go.
And building the space in the community to let them do that. That's going to be the cool thing as this continues to grow and so what I think we need to talk about too is that's one of the biggest portions of this is that community giving the space, much like we talked about, like we verbalized when we were giving our presentation at our live webinar at the huddle. was, look, we also want to create the space for that to happen and create the community and show you like, look, other athletes like you are willing to speak up about this.
Right.
They don't have the area, the avenue, the community, the culture that they feel they can do that in, but they also don't have the resources. And I think they jump to, well, I don't know how to fix this and I don't know who can help me. It's not that they don't want to talk about it. It's that I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know how to and I don't know who can help me fix it.
Right.
So with that, I mean, the mental aspect of that is just so great. And Aaron and I were talking about that today in our back office.
Yeah.
And it was, there's just, as we continue to do this, I've always said teacher learns the most. And that's part of the reason us doing these are so important for everybody out there, whether you're here on site or whether you're online. Like, this is going to go nationwide.
Yeah.
It is. But teacher learns the most, and us just sitting here doing this podcast right now, doing the talk the other night, it's giving us more and more, and hopefully we continue to get more feedback. We've gotten a lot of feedback on, well, what else? The questions that came after, well, you talked about metabolic health. You talked about the structure, like he's 11, but I see how the x-rays you take are so pivotal. And the neurology that you guys do, the neurological evaluations that you guys do, it's like, it's really starting to make sense. It's like, no, we do want to catch it before anything happens, but we don't know how that happens, how that works. So you telling us more about the Ultimate Sports Physical and what you guys do as a practice. Like, remember, yes, we are Vital Performance Health and Wellness. Yeah. We are a chiropractic corrective care, neurological care facility here. That's our core, but now we're just able to give it to that class of people who we've really wanted to expose this to and give them resources for, because it starts now.
Yeah.
This is one of the Kobe quotes I used. I'm a huge Kobe kick, huge Kobe guy. Most of the things that I'm going to start drawing from are people like that. But he said something very important. It's like, it's up to us to lead. And we all know that as parents, as an older generation, these kids looking up to people like you who are fresh out of a D1 school that played high-level soccer, played high-level sports, winning national championships. It's like we're all at an age where there's still such a close gap, but they're looking up to us with some of the great things even our team has done. So we are responsible for leading, and parents too, but investing into the parents is key, but it's time to double down on the kids. Yeah. Because they are so resilient. They have the ability to learn now. If we don't teach them now, we're going to be catching up later, just like we've done with even you guys, with even the parents that are under care. So if we can double down now, they're going to know what it's like, and they're going to hand it down to the next generation. And we're also going to save the parents now a lot of time, money, effort, and headaches because they're not so sick. They're not so injured. They're recovering better. They're not on so many medications. The resources we have are going to cost less. If you need, a sport or a student athlete urgent care situation where you can come here and like get some of that. And if we need to refer out, we can, but we can really start to be that resource that everybody's like, at least somebody's explaining this to me. I see now how it works. Build trust, build the relationships. Where do we go from here? And we're starting to be that. Yeah. There's so much even today as we go into future meetings, and that's starting to happen in the past week with even the racing community, which is super cool, and my opportunity to start to travel and take care of more drivers on the racing scene. And like I talk about racing a lot. It's a passion of mine. It's still a sport. There's a lot of younger drivers now more than ever. There's a lot of older guys that I hang out with. We'll have a few brewskis after the race. And I'm up at Cedar Lake Speedway, and I'm talking to I'm there with the Gundakers, and I'm talking to Jonathan Davenport afterwards, and he's like, wait. He's like, you're just telling me this now? He's like, I ain't been able to move all week. I've been on the road for the past 3 weeks, and you're just telling me this now? He's like, hell yeah, man. It's like, where has this been? He's like, this is something that we've needed the whole time. So to get some of that feedback too has been super cool. So it's going to be exciting to really start building content and building just more awareness to what is out there. Because here's the thing, if it's not here in this office, like, we are not afraid. We're not doing this just for us. Yeah. We have contacts all across the nation where we can get you the care that is very much similar, but you're going to be able to speak on what you need, what you heard, and they're going to know us, and we're going to be able to collaborate with more people across the country very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's just so many big things happening around. It's really cool to see like this seed that was planted even before I got here.
Yeah.
And now it's just like blossoming.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see.
It's been really cool.
There's a lot of transition happening right now, being that it is school year.
Yeah.
A lot of
It's
kids.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, August is here, and football camps are full tilt, whether it's universities or high schools. Games start the end of the month.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of transition there, but it's really, really cool to start to see what is happening as we start to figure out more, as Cheney is learning on the back end what people want to see, the questions that are coming in online, the website. I think you could probably speak to a little bit of what we're starting to create in the background on the website side of things.
Yeah.
Of literally the community we're beginning to start virtually.
Yeah. Can we go into...
Give them a little bit.
Okay.
Give them a little bit.
In the back end a little bit, we're building a community, like we talked about, that's literally for the athletes, and it's made up of athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be different communities, that are, a group of athletes. It's going to be basically a big group message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to say that. This can go nationwide. It is going to go nationwide.
It's like our own Facebook of student-athlete community.
Yeah.
We're just...
Not on Facebook.
We're just taking away the social media aspect because we're taking away the mindset of social media. We're all in this headspace, especially like our generation, of trying to...
Yeah, leave me out of that. See,
Sorry.
I told you I'm getting old.
Our generation.
Yeah, our... No, of really trying to almost discredit social media of like, hey, this is not real life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What you're seeing on social media is not real life. And so we, as a whole, think that taking it off of social media and putting it into a group that's similar to what social media would be, but it takes away the stereotypical social media side of things of like, this is real.
Yeah.
These are people's real feelings. These are people's real questions. These are people's real lives and experiences that they're going through as an athlete. And then you're there to help, whether it's post-college, whether it's, preparing these middle school and high schoolers to go into college. Like, this is just such a big community where they can ask the questions.
Yeah.
Like, there's not anywhere right now that is available.
Yeah, when people do it, like, people are afraid to post that kind of stuff on social media.
Well, yeah,
But, like,
because...
if there was somewhere where, like, coming out of college, anyone could have been like, hey, is anyone else going through this weird transition period of post, like, athletic career?
Yeah.
Like, there have been so many like, I'm getting chills just, like, thinking about it, because that's such a hard transition where, like, now that there's that community to go, like, that would have been so cool.
Like, also, like, not even just transitioning, like, out of, like, not being in athletics anymore, but, like, working out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you went from having, like, a full design program for you to you having to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff like that, or it's, high schoolers, like, learning from my experience. Like, I did not prepare, like, I was going into college. Like, I did not prepare to run 16 miles a day. That was average of what we ran in preseason a day. Like, just prepare yourself now for that. Like, did you know that that's what you're going to be doing going into a D1 soccer program? Probably not.
Right.
But, like, all of these is going to be resources, and then we can jump into, that's the student-athlete side, and then you have a whole parent side.
I was gonna say,
Like, a whole community for parents to ask those questions. What should I be doing with my student-athlete to prepare them for college? What should they be eating? What's the metabolic side look like?
Mm-hmm.
Should we be going and getting IVs? Should we be going and doing cryotherapy? Should we be investing in Normatec boots, or is there a place to get them around our area? There's so many questions that parents have, and they want the resources, like we were saying.
Yeah,
and
even like recruitment kind of things. Like, hey,
Yes.
is your kid going to this recruitment event? Like, how early, how late? Like, is it too early to start recruitment? No, actually, now you literally start in like 8th grade. It's insane.
And you can have the harder conversations too, or the harder questions to ask. It's like even on the burnout side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, my son's always been on tilt about football, baseball, insert sport here.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden there's seeming to be pretty disinterested, and they're really stressed out. They're kind of secluding themselves. What have you parents dealt with this? So it literally is a community, and you said something important too, where so this community, it's not on Facebook, it's not your social medias, because a lot of that is not real life.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of it is, which could create a jealousy conversation, like, man, I just can't wait to be there. And now these kids are passing up 10 years of their life ready to get there when all they've wanted to do is here.
Yeah.
It's like they need to know earlier, like, you've waited all your life, and since you were 3 years old swinging a bat at a tee to be here.
Yeah.
And now you're totally discrediting that because you want to be there because you're seeing this stuff on social media. Or they don't get the opportunity to talk about the hard things because they're just going to get grilled, or they don't get as many likes as they want, or why is their friend? It's like it creates a whole conundrum of, I'm just going to say it. I call it the funnel of fucked, and it's real.
Yeah.
So the community that we're creating off of Facebook, the nice thing about it is it operates like Facebook.
Yeah.
Like as far as the interaction, and you can post like, hey, super proud of my team. We were able to win state this year. But that community is not just going to be like, oh, they really think there's something, or you're not going to get just your mom and dad and family. We're going to teach this community to grow where if like a team here in St. Louis wins a national championship, you've got kids in Nevada or Colorado or Vermont saying, hey, awesome job, like congratulations, and really start to, so it's going to operate the same way, but the culture is going to be different. So now we're going to give access to a choice.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is bring the awareness, give them the resources, and give them the options to make a choice. If you want to continue to live in that zone, go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to experience something different, we're not saying get off of it. Like, do what you want to do. I might recommend, I think we all could take a page out of the Shut It Down book and just get rid of it because of the drama and the kind of what goes on there. But this community is going to be the exact opposite, where the culture is better, the openness. Because you had started to say it too, like what if your kid's moving across the country because they're that blue chip athlete, and they're going to Boston College to play hockey, and they live in Phoenix, and it's like, hey, my son, we're blessed with the opportunity to send him to Boston College on a scholarship to play hockey. Do we have any parents here that are in the area that we'd love to meet you guys when we come into town, when we move them in? Does anybody's kids go to BC? Or whatever the case is it's like building that is going to be more important, and getting that message across Tuesday night. We didn't really get into all of that, but they started to see the passion, and now we wanted to come on here and do this right after that talk to get the message across, kind of the rest of the story, and paint the picture of like, guys, this is going to be so instrumental, whether they want to coach with one of us personally, whether we need to provide a resource for somebody across the country, whether you want to fly in and do an ultimate sports physical, or you want us to fly out there and do an ultimate sports physical for your entire team. Building the trust with you guys is so important to us, because we deal with student athletes also every day who are still lacking resources, lacking confidence, lacking coaching. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying anybody's doing it wrong, but they're lacking that culture and that community to be treated justly, or to learn how to communicate what they need to the situation they're in to get the most out of it and be better.
Yeah. That was good.
Just comes. I guess when you're passionate about something, it's just, all of us together, it's like, I think what we're forging at this point together between the three of us has been very good. Erica's been instrumental. We've got, people like Austin McDowell and Brooke Austin, and the local people here to us, Kyle Blumenberg, just so many people that we are connected with that are seeing this and asking more better questions.
Yeah.
Is that proper English? More better questions.
Sound like lady.
Better questions for better answers. Isn't that what you always say?
Yeah. If you want a better answer, ask a better question.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and it's fun to be able to, as close as we all are with even my kids, to watch them sit on the sideline right now, because they're not in the age bracket for this team yet, but they're seeing and watching. Dad's at a talk, where's Miss Cheney? Where's Miss Aaron? Oh, we're with Dad at a talk, and I want to go. And they're seeing all these people, and it's like, we're literally starting to lead different. And we're not just doing that for us. We're doing that for this entire community and the millions of student athletes across the nation that deserve better.
Yeah. 100%.
Anything else? Anything you want to drop? We could probably spin and go down all kinds of different tributaries and.
Not gonna happen though.
We've got stuff to do today. We
Sealed.
our recording day was pushed rightfully so, to do this on the back end of this talk. Now we have a meeting for a student athlete community, which is a super great opportunity. And so we're continuing to be on the run, be on the go, forge this, plow this field that we're starting to build and seed and gain fruit from for everybody. And so we're super excited to do it. Stay tuned. Give us your feedback. We are going to be scheduling another Pure Athlete Huddle for September. We already have the date. You remember what it is? It's the week after Labor Day. Week after Eldora. It's like the 12th or something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the 12th. It's like this. It's going to be the first full week after Labor Day. Let everybody get set in.
Yeah.
We're going to put some links in on that. We'll keep you in tune in that. Join the list. We do have an email list that we do send out, and a text message list. This is not your typical spam, 30% off of this, come do this, come do that. We're literally keeping you in the loop. So I do encourage you to jump on that, especially as the Pure Athlete newsletter starts to come out. We just want to keep people in the loop. We want to stimulate questions. And you can email us back right there. Like, we are not this whole huge company that just goes into...
talking to me.
Yeah. This isn't support at pureathlete.com. Nope. This is support/Cheney at pureathlete.com. So whether topics, resources, events, ideas, feedback, whatever it is that you want to give, like, I encourage you to get on board with that. We'd love and appreciate for you to do that as well. Share the podcast. But we got to run on to the next thing. Super excited. See ya.